In Fairfield County, something new comes across my desk every day. Crimes are committed, cases are solved, and a community is made safe by the hardworking employees of the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office.
Welcome to This Week with Sheriff Dave Phelan, a weekly program here on LSN Television. We're also carried by a number of our radio affiliates here in Lancaster and beyond. Do appreciate you, the viewers and listeners that join us each and every week, where we have guests from within the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office and also community leaders and a number of different topics. Our executive producer is Kelly Roberts. Kelly lines up the guests, gets the questions together, and does a terrific job. Certainly the Academy here at Fairfield Christian Academy, where we actually tape the program and put it together. Back by popular demand is Lieutenant Alex Lape, our road commander. You were with us last week. You're how many years have you been with us?
21.
21-year veteran of the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office, and have worked in a lot of different assignments over the years. And you were actually the Detective Bureau commander.
At one time, yes.
And worked in the jail. Did you ever work in the radio room?
No. Well, I did. When I was the patrol supervisor, I would help out in there. So I would take the call, enter it into the computer, then go out and get in the car and respond to the call. So I can say that, yes, I did work in the radio room, I guess.
So being a veteran of the Sheriff's Office with all those years of experience, what are some of the big changes you've seen over the years?
Probably technology is one of the biggest changes that since I started. The MDTs in the cruisers, the capabilities that our dispatch center now has that they didn't have before, basically making the old-fashioned map obsolete, so everything's on the computer now, basically.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, isn't it?
Right. And I remember at one time we actually tested Nextel when it first came out, and we were pretty much like, this thing doesn't work, but yeah. We ended up heavily relying on Nextel for years, so that's come and gone.
Yeah, and also you were involved in the SWAT team.
Yes, sir.
And how many members do we have with the SWAT team?
We have about 22.
22?
Yes. That's including folks that their designation is just vehicle operator, driver. That way, we can respond wherever we need to go and count on the fact that our vehicles and equipment will catch up with us at the scene.
And there's also a medical component to that now, isn't there?
That's true. We have TEMS operators, that tactical emergency medics. They do a really good job, and they do a lot of stuff voluntarily and get their own training through their departments, and it's worked out really well. They kind of take care of the guys on the team and monitor them as far as if we're training and their exertion levels get here and there, they'll provide water, fruit, stuff like that to keep everybody in top shape.
And how often do you have to train as a team?
We currently train one time a month.
Okay.
But it's pretty consistent, and it's usually some type of meaningful training. It's planned out at the beginning, prior to the beginning of the year, and it's scheduled out for the whole year, so everybody knows when training is and what the topic will be. Very rarely does it ever deviate. So.
Soon we're going to be getting we lost our canine, Arno, and we're going to have a new canine deputy and also a new dog coming up. Tell us how we're doing in that process.
We're doing pretty well. It kind of took a while to get it up and running and going. Everybody was kind of sad over the loss of Arno and the effects that had on Deputy John Williamson. He did a really good job for a lot of years, and our new canine hopefully will be the start of a refreshing thing for the program, bring it back to life. His name is Con.
Con, okay.
Yeah, kind of like a hot dog, but
okay.
He looks like he's going to be a promising addition to the canine unit. He's currently going into his third week of training, so they're going through the things in order to get him certified, which is a requirement for us to use him as a dual-purpose law enforcement dog. Our new canine handler, Deputy Malloy, is currently studying as well. During this training, he gets homework. He also gets assignments from me to look at case law and things like that. But for the most part, he's covering a lot of that stuff through the training that he receives.
Well, what type of dog are we getting?
It's a Belgian Malinois.
Okay.
It took me.
I'm glad you
to,
said that.
Yeah.
I don't think I could pronounce it.
It's the same dog that we've had in the past for the
All right.
past few years.
All right.
It's been a real reliable breed for us. It's
And how old is the dog?
The dog right now is a year and a half.
Okay, so at a year and a half they can actually get started in the training. They have to be probably beyond the puppy stage.
Yeah. He's kind of changing from the puppy to the young adult status. So that's about when they usually kick them off to start their training. And when they come to us, they have a basic set of obedience trainings that they go through. So the specific stuff that we do would be the tracking, the narcotics locating, and handler protection are usually the three big things that they focus on.
And they do it. It is just amazing what those dogs can do.
Yeah.
And how we really depend on them. It's been kind of tough not having the dog since Arno passed away.
It has. There's been several incidents that have occurred where we've made requests for canines from other agencies and they've not been available.
Sure.
So hopefully that'll be a thing we can put behind us here shortly.
As we get into the summer months, the warm months coming up, there's been some reports, at least nationally, about kids that have actually died or been left in cars by parents.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about the dangers and what we need to keep in mind. And if parents forget, what is some of the ramifications?
Well, it's been reported in the national news here recently, a case where a father left a child in a vehicle, and without commenting on that, it's obvious what the ramifications are if that should happen. You can see this couple and what they're going through and dealing with that.
Sure.
Nobody wants to be in that kind of a situation. So we need to take safeguards to make sure that we're not leaving our children or pets, for that matter, in vehicles for any length of time while we're running into the store to just grab a few things. It doesn't take long for the interior of a vehicle to heat up, and actually a child their body temperature will rise 5 times faster than an adult. So we need to keep that in mind when we're taking our kids with us when we're running errands or so forth. Just make sure to take them out of the vehicle.
Yeah, and that would be true even with pets. I saw something about a pet that was left in a car.
Right. It doesn't take long for a dog to overheat in a vehicle. Only a few minutes. So.
And I don't know that a lot of people would have thought about pets, because how many times have you been out when you're going in the store and there's the dog in the car barking against the window and things like
Right.
that? So it'd be the same thing.
I was recently at one of the local stores, and when we parked and went into the store, we passed a vehicle that had some dogs in it, and while we were inside the store, they did a PA announcement and said that the owner of the whatever vehicle it was and such and such canine needed to come to the service desk because the dogs were running loose through the parking lot. So it made me wonder if somebody maybe opened the door and let them out, but I don't know how that turned out.
Huh. Well, how about that? How about that?
If you ever would encounter a vehicle like that, call 911 and let
Child
us know.
in the vehicle.
Child in the vehicle, or even pets for that matter. And that's what I was in the process of doing when I saw that there. Just get somebody out there to see, what's going on with this. And with a child, it's going to be an even more rapid response on our part.
Some time ago, they introduced legislation, and now it's a law in regard to texting and driving.
Right.
Now, how's that going?
Well, the law went into effect in 2012, basically to go down the list of terms for this law. It really impacts anybody under the age of 18. It's really restrictive for them. It's illegal for anybody under 18 to use any electronic wireless communication device while driving in Ohio, and that means they can't talk on their phone, they can't use Bluetooth, they can't send email, send text, and it not only when the vehicle is in motion, that's when it's actually even stopped at a red light or in traffic. What they need to do is pull off out of a lane of travel to do those things with their phone if they need to do that.
And it's just amazing to me. Yesterday I was on 33, and I looked over, and here's the lady, and
Right.
she's actually driving and messaging, and I'm thinking, wow, how is she able to even do that? And certainly it can't be very safe.
In the past 2 days, I've witnessed, while driving my personally owned vehicle, two people doing the same thing. So it's definitely a hazard that's out there. That the problem with it is, as far as enforcement goes, they don't do that when they see a cruiser somewhere nearby.
Correct.
And that's the task for us.
Primary or secondary offense?
It is. You can be pulled over if you're.
So it's a primary offense.
It's a primary offense. So, the first offense, it's possibly up to a $150 fine, and the second time, it's up to $300 possibly. So, it's definitely an issue, and it's a safety hazard for other people on the roadway. And when we've seen the effects historically here in our county of people that are texting and driving, and the bad things that can happen from that.
Yeah, and you think of impairment. We often think of impairment when people are have too much to drink or drugs or something like that. But these things can be equally as destructive.
Right.
And it just takes a second where people are looking down, and then someone stops in front of them, or some kid runs out or something like that, and tragedy can occur.
Yeah, I think anytime you take your attention away from what's going on the road, that you're putting yourself and other motorists at risk.
Absolutely. We have with us today Lieutenant Alex Lape, the patrol commander with the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office, a veteran of over 20 years. And some of the things as we go into our summer months, what are some of the things that typically you see increase in the summer months within the calls at the Sheriff's Office?
Well, one of the things that's increased is our OVI arrest. The month of May actually was the highest month with 16. There were 13 in June. Total for the year from January till now has been 61 arrests. We've tested folks after the arrest, and our lowest BAC test result out of those 61 people was a .135. 0.08 is the legal limit. So the highest test that we had was .231, which is almost 3 times the legal limit. So during the summer months, we see OVI and OVI-related crashes and things like that kind of pick up. So that's one of the things that we deal with.
We've said this for years, get a designated driver, don't drive when you've had too much to drink. And I think a lot of times people, when they've been drinking, they do not know how impaired they are. Or they think, well, all I'm going to do is drive a couple miles to home, and there's some kind of an accident, or they get arrested and end up going to jail.
It kind of boils down to poor judgment, not only with the OVI offense, but also with the texting. People think that it's not going to happen to me, that I can manage it, I can control it, I have this under control, when in fact they don't, and they don't realize it.
Appreciate you being with us. The time has flown. We've had a great couple programs the last couple weeks with Lieutenant Alex Lape, our patrol commander, and we'll have you back here soon. A lot to talk about. Always a lot to talk about with you. You've got so much a diverse background, whether it's the Detective Bureau commander, the road commander, and a host of other assignments. So we'll have you back soon.
All right, sure.
Well, we're just about out of time. Do appreciate you, the viewers and listeners that join us each and every week. Until next week, same time, same place. God bless. We'll see you right here.
This is one amazing truffula tree. Can you imagine a place where these grow everywhere? Yes, it's called the forest, a magical place to enjoy with your family. Ooh. So discover the forest and explore all the wonder that's there. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.